Good morning all of you. My name is Satrupa Ghosh from Delhi Public School, Bhimavaram. Today we are going to discuss a topic from geography, that is the major domains of the earth. Before entering into the topic, let us start with our planet Earth. As you all know that in the whole solar system there are 8 planets, and among all those 8 planets there is only one planet, that is Earth, which contains life. This existence of life makes our Earth a unique planet. So as you can see in the picture that this Earth is the only planet in the solar system which contains life. Now have you ever thought what is that features which makes the existence of life possible in Earth? There are some basic elements which our Mother Nature provides us, which makes it possible for the life to sustain. So there are 3 basic components which makes the life possible, that is the land, the water and the air. Now you must be wondering, are only these 3 components enough for the sustenance of life? No, of course not. For that we also need clothing, shelter, food, of course, but these 3 are the basic components of sustenance of life. Like these are the natural elements which our earth provides us. And talking about the food, the shelter, the clothing is something which are human made. Of course, for those things we have to use nature, but these 3 components are the basic components which are very important for sustenance of life. So first is land. Why land is important? Have you ever thought, if you want to survive in a planet, where you gonna make a house? For that you need a land. In land we make our house. For shelter, along with that we do agriculture, from which we get our food. So land is a very basic element for sustenance. The next thing is water. Of course, water is a very important part of our life. Not only because that we drink water, rather there are many uses of water. Like we depend on water for each and every single activity we need water. And the third component is air. Of course, a clean air is very important for our sustenance. So, as you saw that these 3 are the basic components which makes our life possible in this earth. These 3 components are not available in any other planet with sufficient amount, because of which the life is not possible in any other planet but only in Earth. This existence of life is something which makes our Earth a unique planet. So now let's start our topic. So our topic I already discussed is the major domains of the Earth. After listening to the topic, the first question that comes to our mind is, what do we mean by domain? A domain is basically an area which is possessed by someone or something. Like we always say, this is my domain. It means we stay in that place. This place belongs to us. Similarly, there are 4 major domains of the earth. What are those? Let's have a look. There are 4 domains. The first one is lithosphere. So now let's get into the topic, the major domains of the earth. So in our earth there are 4 major domains. Okay, domains basically means, as I already told, it's an area which is particularly dominated by a particular person or a particular feature. Okay, so there are 4 domains, as you can see in the picture, that is lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and there is another complex zone, that is biosphere. I am going to get into the details with the flow. First, let us just get a quick review. What are all these domains? Like, as you can see in this picture, the first is lithosphere. Lithosphere is the solid part of the earth, the solid portion which mainly consists of land. The second one is atmosphere. Atmosphere is generally an area which is dominated by air. And the third one is hydrosphere. It is basically an area which is dominated by water. There is also a zone, that is biosphere. That is a complex zone where all these 3 spheres interact with each other. Okay, now let's just go into our first sphere, that is lithosphere. Lithosphere, as you can see, lithosphere, the term lithos has been derived from a Greek word lithos, which means stone. So what does this lithosphere basically consists of? It consists of the rocks of the earth crust as well as a solid, thin layer of soil. The soil which contains variety of nutritious elements. And as you can see, lithosphere, as I already told, so as I was telling about the lithosphere, lithosphere basically consists of the solid portion of the earth. So as we are discussing about the solid portion, let me tell you what is the highest point and the lowest point of the earth crust. So as you can see here, the picture of, what is this? Yes, it is the picture of a mountain. Like, as you know, Mount Everest is the highest peak of the earth's surface. So do you know where Mount Everest is located? No, not in India, it's in Nepal. Yes, so as you can see, this is the picture of Mount Everest. The first person to climb the Mount Everest was Edmund Hillary from England and Tenzing Norgay from Nepal. And the first woman in the world to climb the Mount Everest was Junko Tabei. She was from Japan. And the first Indian woman to climb the Mount Everest was Bachendri Pal. So as you can see, this is the picture of Mount Everest, which is the highest point of the earth's surface. Its height is 8848 meters. Now, proceeding over to the deepest point. As you already came to know that Mount Everest is the highest point on the earth's surface. Now, what is the deepest point? So as you can see, this is Mariana Trench. It is located in Pacific Ocean and it is the deepest point of the earth's surface, that is 1122 meters. As you can see the picture, it is located at the base of Pacific Ocean basin. Okay, now let's move to our again the topic, that is lithosphere. So as you can see, this is the picture of our world. So as you can see, there are 7 major continents of our earth. Those are North America, South America, Asia, Africa, Australia, Europe and Antarctica. These are the 7 major continents and all these land masses comprises the lithosphere. Of course, these oceans are also there, but which comprises of the hydrosphere. Now, we will proceed to each and every continent. First, let's have a look at the picture. As you can see, these are North and South Americas which are located in the Western Hemisphere. The Asia and the Australia are located in the Eastern Hemisphere, and Europe and Africa are located in the middle, like it's located in the west of Asia. Okay, now let's proceeding to the first continent, that is Asia. You already know that India is a part of the continent Asia, right? So what is the unique feature of Asia? Yes, it is the largest continent of the earth's surface. As you can see, it covers a lot of land masses and it consists of 3/4 of the total land area. Okay, so as you can see, this is the map of Asia, and here you can also see it is the full world, and the Asia almost covers the 3/4 of the land mass. So it is the largest continent of the earth's surface. as you already came to know that Asia is the largest continent, let's also learn some of the basic features, like it is located in the eastern hemisphere, right? It is located in the eastern hemisphere, and the Asia is separated from Europe by Ural Mountains. Okay, now let's move on to the next topic. So after Asia, now it's the turn for Europe. Right, Europe is a very small continent and it is located in the western side of Asia. Right, you can see, and as I already told, Europe is separated from Asia by Ural Mountains. As you can see in the map, Asia is located in the right side and Europe is located in the left side, right? And it is a very small continent. It is covered with ocean in all its three sides, and only one side it is having landmass, that is the continent of Asia. Okay, now moving over to the next continent, that is Africa. So Africa is the second largest continent. Like the Asia is the largest continent of the earth's surface, and Africa is the second largest. As you can see, it is a very large continent and it is the only continent in the earth's surface through which all the Tropic of Cancer, the Tropic of Capricorn and Equator passes. Okay. And the most unique feature of Africa is it contains the world's hottest desert, that is the Sahara Desert, as well as the longest river of the earth's surface, that is Nile River. So, as I already told, yes, it is the second largest continent and it is the only continent in the whole earth's surface through which all the Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn and Equator passes. Yes, of course, the Africa is also known as the dark continent. Okay, so moving over to the next topic, next continent is, as you can see, it is the picture of North America. So North America is the third largest continent. Okay, as you can see, this is the map of North America, and here in the world it is in the third rank and on the basis of land. Okay, it is linked with South America through the Isthmus of Panama. Now what is this isthmus? I am going to describe later. Okay, now the fourth one is South Americas. The South America is located in the southern hemisphere and it consists of the Andes mountain, that is the longest mountain range of the world, as well as the great Amazon basin, that is the largest river of the world. So, the smallest continent of the earth's surface, that is the Australia. Since the Australia is covered with water in all over, so it is also known as the island continent. Okay, and as I already told, it is the smallest continent of the world. Coming over to the last continent, that is the Antarctica. As you all know, Antarctica is located in South Pole. Like the South Pole is located in the middle of the Antarctica continent. So it is always permanently covered with thick ice sheets, and no human settlement exists in Antarctica as the climate is very cold. Coming over to Antarctica, many research stations are located in Antarctica. Like from India also, there are two research stations. One is Dakshin Gangotri, another one is Maitri. Okay, now moving over, as I already told about the lithosphere, so that was it. That lithosphere basically consists of all the solid portions of the earth, which also includes the continents and the ocean basins. So now after completing this lithosphere, the next topic is hydrosphere. Now what does this hydrosphere means? The hydrosphere means all those places which are covered with water. Like water means in every form, like river, ice, glaciers, then oceans and even water vapor. All those areas which are containing water are coming under the hydrosphere. Okay, as you all know, our planet Earth is also known as blue planet. Have you ever thought why our planet is known as blue planet? It's because 71% of the earth crust is covered with water and only 29% is covered with land. So is because of this reason the Earth is also known as a blue planet. The World Water Day is also celebrated on 22nd March of every year. Okay, now as you can see that this is a map of the world. Now as you can see, if this is the whole world, only these white portions are the land area and all these blue portions are what? Yes, water covered area. So as you can see, it looks blue, and because of that reason our Earth is also known as a blue planet. Okay. So as we are describing about hydrosphere, let us first see what does this hydrosphere actually consist of. As I told, hydrosphere consists of all those areas which are covered with water. Not only the oceans but also the rivers, the lakes, the ponds, the ice caps, as well as the water vapor that are suspended in the air. Okay, so as you can see, if this is a pie chart, this full blue part is covered with ocean. Okay, and this dark red portion is covered with lakes and rivers, and this light area is covered with groundwater, and this one is covered with glacier. Okay, so as you can see, the major portion of the hydrosphere is covered with ocean itself. So it's important to understand that even though the full Earth is covered with water only, then why do we face water crisis? It's because, as you can see, most of the water is comprised in oceans, and the ocean water is salty. We can't drink that oceanic water. So the fresh water, the drinkable water, is only found in lakes and rivers as well as groundwater. That only comprises of 2.5%. So as you can see, it is a very small amount. So it is our duty as a citizen of not only India but as a member of this family of Earth to conserve the water and use it properly. Okay, now just let's see that since the ocean is covering the maximum portion of the hydrosphere, it is important to know what are the major oceans, right? So now, as you can see, there are 5 major oceans in the Earth's surface. Now what are those? The first is Pacific Ocean, the second is Arctic Ocean, the third is Atlantic Ocean, the fourth is Indian Ocean, and the fifth one is Southern Ocean. Okay. So now, talking about the oceans, it's like the Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean in the Earth's surface. Its shape is circular. Okay, so Pacific, and the Mariana Trench that I already described in lithosphere, that is also located in the Pacific Ocean. Okay, the Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean. Coming over to the next ocean is Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean is the second largest ocean and it is S-shaped. That is, the shape of Atlantic Ocean is S, and it has an indented coastline. Now what does this indented coastline means? If this is a land and this is its sea area, the coastline is like this. This is land and this is sea, and the coastline is indented. So this indentation helps in the construction of port and harbor, and because of those reasons the Atlantic Ocean has the busiest sea route, I mean that most of the trade is covered on the Atlantic Ocean. So after Atlantic Ocean, the next comes our Indian Ocean. As you all know, Indian Ocean is the only ocean in the whole world which is named after a country. And what is that country? Of course, it's India. So Indian Ocean, the shape of Indian Ocean is triangular. Okay. And coming over to the next is Arctic Ocean. Arctic Ocean is basically located in the Arctic Circle, and Arctic Ocean is connected with Pacific Ocean through a strait. Now what does this strait means? Right, the strait means a small passage of water which connects two large water bodies. This is a small passage of water which connects two large water bodies. So Bering Strait is a small strait which is connecting Arctic Ocean with the Pacific Ocean. Okay, so similarly one strait is also located between India and Sri Lanka, right? Similarly, Bering Strait is located between Arctic Ocean and Pacific Ocean. Coming over to the last ocean is Southern Ocean. The Southern Ocean is covering the whole continent of Antarctica, and it is mainly located in the southern pole. Now, as we have already covered the hydrosphere part, let me give it a small summary. As I already told, lithosphere are the solid parts of the earth, like all the land parts are coming under the lithosphere, right? Now the second is hydrosphere. Hydrosphere are all the portions that are coming under water, right? And lithosphere is derived from the word lithos, which means stone, and hydrosphere is derived from the word hudor, which means water. Now let's move on to our third zone, that is atmosphere. So atmosphere, atmos term has been taken from Greek word which means vapor. Now what does this vapor means? Vapor means gas, right? Atmosphere, suppose this is an earth. Okay, what is this? Yes, this is our planet Earth. So atmosphere is nothing, just a blanket of air which is covering our whole earth. It is a layer of gas which is covering our whole planet Earth. Okay, so this layer of atmosphere contains all those important gases which are important for the existence of life, like oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen. All the important gases, even dust particles also, are located in this layer of atmosphere. Okay, as you can see, this layer, the height of this layer is 1600 meters. As you can see here, it is written that this height of the atmosphere is 1600 meters, and this blanket also protects us from the harmful rays of the sun. As you know, the earth is very far from sun, then also its heat is too much to bear. It's because of this layer of atmosphere which is protecting us from that harmful rays. Okay, now as you can see, so as I already told, the height of the atmosphere is 1600 meters, and if you are standing here and you will start moving upward, you will see that the temperature is constantly decreasing. That is the main reason that when you are standing on the ground floor, it's comparatively more hot, and if you will go to the terrace, you will see the temperature is quite a little bit less. Similarly, as you will go up, as you will climb Mount Everest or any other mountain, you will see there is a sudden drop in temperature. Why is it so? It's because that the temperature decreases with increasing height. The temperature is decreasing but the height is increasing. There is an inverse relationship. Okay. Now coming over to the next, what does this atmosphere consists of? Like we already discussed, that atmosphere is a blanket of gas which is covering the earth's surface. Now what does this atmosphere has? It has a number of gases. As you can see, it consists of nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide and many other gases. In this pie chart, it is very clear that the nitrogen has the maximum concentration. Now what is that? That is 78%. Yes, that nitrogen has the maximum concentration in the atmosphere, followed by oxygen 20.9%, then argon 0.9%, other gases 0.17%, and the lastly carbon dioxide 0.03%. Now let's go a little beyond the topic. Every time we are hearing about the global warming. How does this global warming caused? It's because we have heard that the level of this carbon dioxide gas is increasing, and what it is making? It is making our earth environment very warm. and as the temperature will increase, what will happen? All the glaciers, all the ice caps will start melting. There will be melting of snow, and as the snow will melt, the level of sea will increase, leading to submergence of the continents. So this global warming is very dangerous. For that, the main responsible gas is this carbon dioxide, which is only 0.03%, but it is day by day increasing. And if we will see the oxygen, the most important gas for our sustenance, because we breathe in oxygen, right, and we release carbon dioxide. So oxygen is very important, and if the carbon dioxide will increase, if the maximum carbon dioxide will increase, then there will be a depletion in oxygen, causing our environment very, very warm, leading to global warming and many other environmental hazards. Now coming over to our next layer, that is layers of the atmosphere. We have discussed about the composition, like what are the gases that are comprised of in atmosphere. Now there are certain layers, okay, because it is 600 meters, it is 600 meters. So this 600 meters has 5 distinct layers. Now what are those layers? From Earth, its troposphere. So after understanding the composition of the atmosphere, let us move to the layers of atmosphere. Now, as I already told, the height of the Earth's atmosphere is 1600 meters. So this 1600 meters has 5 distinct layers. Now what are those layers? These are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and the exosphere. As you know, it rains, clouds are there. All these features of weather and climate are present in troposphere. It is the lowest layer of the atmosphere. After that, there is stratosphere. In this, between troposphere and stratosphere, there is a layer of air, that is, there is a layer of gas which is known as ozone layer, which is comprised of ozone gas. Okay, now why am I discussing about this ozone gas? Is it an important gas? Yes, it is a very, very important gas. It's because of this gas which absorbs the ultraviolet rays of the sun. When the sunlight is coming on the Earth's surface, it also contains UV rays, which is very harmful for life, not only for human beings but all forms of life. So this UV layer, as you can see, there is a thin UV layer which absorbs this UV rays, okay, and which now day by day, it's because of this global warming, there is a hole taking place in that ozone layer, and which is causing skin cancer and many other diseases. So ozone layer plays a very important part in our sustenance. As you know, now just because of this lockdown and all, the ozone layer, that gap has been replenished. Right now there is no gap in ozone layer, but earlier there was a huge hole in that ozone layer over the Arctic Circle, but now it has been replenished. But since it is a very important layer, we have to check on our emission of carbon dioxide, which is indirectly responsible for this ozone layer, as well as the gas known as CFC. What is this gas? This is chlorofluorocarbon. Chlorofluorocarbon is a gas which emits from these ACs, fridges, ACs. This emits chlorofluorocarbons, which is a very dangerous gas and is the sole responsible for the depletion of this ozone layer. So whenever the temperature is quite normal, it will be good that we should not switch on our ACs and we should enjoy the natural air, because if we will protect our nature, then only we will be able to enjoy the nature. So now coming over to the next one is, as you can see, the fourth zone, that is biosphere. Before going to the biosphere, let me give a small summary of what is atmosphere. As I have already described, atmosphere is an area which is mainly dominated with air, right? So air is everywhere, in this room, in your home, outside, everywhere air is there. So why air is important? Because we breathe in air. Without breathing, will we able to live? No, right? So air is very important part of our life. And the last zone is biosphere. Like the biosphere is a zone where atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere interacts. Now what does this mean, interaction, right? See, as you can see, these are land areas, these are trees. You can see land area is there, here some animals are there, life is taking place, here water is there, and here air is there. So in this zone, particularly in this zone, these three layers are together, they are interacting with each other and making it possible for life, right? Because like if you will see, we can't exist in atmosphere, right? Because there is no land, and hydrosphere also we can't live. So we need a zone where all these pairs will be available, right? So biosphere is that complex zone where all these pairs interact and are interdependent in each other. Okay, so yes, coming over to the last topic, biosphere. Biosphere is basically divided into two parts. One is plants and another is animals. So there are two parts of a biosphere. One is plant kingdom, another is animal kingdom. So where does human being belong to? Human beings belong to the animal kingdom. Biosphere is a place where life exists, from small bacteria, virus and everything to huge mammals like elephants, human beings, whales. So all this life exists in biosphere. Biosphere is a very complex zone because it needs the existence of each and every other layers, and this biosphere is what makes the life possible. Like if we will go to other planets, in the other planets this biosphere is not available. Maybe they are having atmosphere, they are also having gases, but the correct amount of water, the correct amount of air and the correct amount of land makes the place habitable. So a proper balance of each and every sphere is important for the sustenance of life. So as you can see in this picture, here you can see one picture where there is coexistence of all the spheres. Atmosphere is there, yes, water is also there and land is also there. So the interaction of all these spheres are forming the biosphere, right? So the meaning of the word bios is life, because in biosphere only life exists. Okay, it makes the earth unique because biosphere is such a zone which is not available in a single planet. Like atmosphere is also present in other planets, they also has gases, but no other planets has life. So biosphere is the zone which is the most unique zone of our earth. It ranges from small microbes to huge mammals, like it also contains algae and then protozoa, to huge animals, then mammals, whales, human beings. All forms of life are available in the biosphere only. Okay, and then World Environment Day is celebrated in 5th June of every year. Like in 5th June of every year, we celebrate World Environment Day, so that to spread awareness regarding the protection of environment. What is the role of environment in our life? How we are affecting the environment and how the environment is affecting our life. Both environment and life is related to each other. Without nature, human beings can't survive. Without human beings, nature can't be changed. Like before also trees were there, before also the minerals were available, but it's human beings who used all those minerals, and now they have become a resource. Similarly, when we are using the resources that are available from nature, we should also respect our nature, because without this nature our life will not be possible, right? As I already mentioned, this environment, this biosphere consists of two main kingdoms. What are those kingdoms? These are plant kingdoms and animal kingdoms. Plant kingdom consists of all the types of floras, all the type of flora species, and animal kingdom consists of all the types of fauna, including birds and animals. Okay. Now, as we have already discussed all the spheres, like the 4 major domains of the earth, let me give it a recap. Like what are the major things that we have discussed? First, let us start from the first topic and give it a summary. So, as we have discussed first, that is lithosphere. Now, try to remember, what does this lithos means? Yes, you are correct. Lithos means stone. Lithosphere includes all those parts which are coming under the solid portion of the earth, like the land. Yes, and then lithosphere mainly consists of 2 parts. One is continent and the another one is ocean basins. So how many continents are there in the earth's surface? There are 7 major continents on the earth's surface. What are those? These are Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Europe, Australia and Antarctica. There are 7 major continents, right? Then coming over to the hydrosphere, the term hydros has been taken from the word hudor. What does this hudor mean? Yes, correct. Hudor means water. So a place which is dominated by water, all those places which are containing water in any form, it can be ice, it can be water vapor, it can be river, ponds, lakes, oceans, all these are parts of hydrosphere, right? So in hydrosphere, the major part is formed by oceans, because ocean is around 71%. So ocean is very important part of hydrosphere. So how many oceans are there in the world? There are major 5 oceans. Now what are those 5 oceans? Pacific Ocean, Arctic Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Southern Ocean and of course Indian Ocean, right? Now next move to our next sphere, that is atmosphere. Now the atmosphere is taken from the word atmos, which means vapor, air vapor, water vapor. Okay, so atmosphere has been taken from the word atmos, which means vapor. Atmosphere is mainly composed of all the important gases that are important for our life, like it consists of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, argon and many other gases. So nitrogen has the largest concentration and carbon dioxide has the least concentration. After talking about the composition, let us also remember the different layers that the atmosphere has. Since the height of the atmosphere is 1600 meters, so it is having 5 different layers coming from bottom to up, that is troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. So, and between troposphere and stratosphere, the ozone layer is also located, which is very important as it absorbs the ultraviolet rays of the sun. Okay, now after finishing all these 3 spheres, let us move to the last sphere, that is the biosphere. Like I have already told, biosphere has been taken from the word bios. Like what does this term mean? Yes, this term means life, which is unique to our planet. The life is something which makes our earth a unique planet in the full solar system. So as biosphere is a complex zone because it causes life, there is an interaction of all the atmosphere, thermosphere and lithosphere which is making the life possible. So basically biosphere is a place or is a zone where all the spheres coexists together. Okay. So biosphere is again divided into two parts. The one part is plant kingdom and the another part is animal kingdom. So as I have already described about the major 4 domains of the earth, now let's just give it a conclusion, like what are the effects on the spheres that are happening in the present scenario. Like as you can see, the life which is the most unique feature of the earth is possible because of these zones. If water would not have been there, life would not have been possible. Similarly, land and air. So these spheres are the major reasons for the existence of life. Are we affecting these spheres? Are we creating any problem for these spheres? Yes, we are. Like with the advancement of technology, we have been so much busy in producing things that we almost neglected the value of nature. We are indiscriminately cutting trees day by day, which is affecting the land and causing soil erosion, land degradation and many other problems, land pollution also. Similarly, we are setting up numerous factories which are emitting lots and lots of gases which are not only harmful for us but also for all the forms of life and nature. Like recently there was an emission of a hazardous gas in Visakhapatnam factory which led to a numerous effect on life. Similarly, as you can see, if a gas is affecting a life so much, how much it can also affect the nature. So as you can see, as we are setting up factories, we need to be ensured, we have to be responsible that we should use, we should produce, we should advance, but keeping in mind the protection of environment is also necessary, because if the environment will be destroyed, our life will also come to an end. Okay, now moving to the water, are we affecting the water? Yes, we are also affecting the water. Like day by day, as you all know, the population is increasing, right? The population has reached some 6 billion and all. And India is the second most populous country in the world after China. So, is population a problem or it is a resource? See, everything has a positive side and a negative side. Population can be a resource. Japan is a small country. It has a large population, but it has used its population very carefully, and so its population has become a valuable resource. In India, we have a large amount of population. It can be a resource. For that, proper utilization, proper planning is required. But what we are doing with increasing population, the demand of food is increasing, the demand of everything is increasing. Imagine this is world, okay, only this much area is land and the all other areas are covered with water. In this much land, the population is day by day increasing, but the land, is the land increasing? No, right? The land is still the same. So it is very difficult to produce that much food for that much population. Like once Mahatma Gandhi has said, there is enough to meet everyone's need, but not to meet everyone's greed. If we will consume that much, which much is enough for us, then we will be able to protect our environment. But if we will not use it carefully, then it will lead to depletion. Like we have to use all the resources, the land, the water, the air, so that our future generations, will also be able to use, will also be able to enjoy this beautiful environment that the earth has given us. Right. So we are surely affecting the nature a lot. For that, some important measures should also be taken. Not only the government is responsible for conserving nature, we are also responsible. So if you will only decide that no, I will take one step to conserve the nature, you can also be the change. You can convince everyone that we should conserve. So there is the conservation of nature is very much important in present scenario. As you can see, the temperature is increasing day by day, the rainfall is decreasing, the amount of rainfall has decreased a lot, and the air pollution has increased so much that the masks has become compulsory for our day-to-day life. So what steps we should take? What steps we should take? Have you ever thought, like whenever you are going to some places, why you are using your private vehicles? When public transport is available, you can go use public transport, so that there will be less amount of emission of carbon dioxide and all. So it is us who are also very much responsible for the protection of this environment. As we can see in the present scenario, it's very important to understand the need of conservation. Like this year only we have saw the burning of forest fires are taking place, right? And similarly we are seeing the natural disasters are increasing. Why? Indirectly, human beings are also responsible for all these natural hazards, because we are indiscriminately using all the natural elements that are available in the earth, the land, the air, the water. So it is responsible for us to now get up and take the step, so that we should conserve our nature and make it a very special place for all the coming future generation and the present generation. So with this, I will be concluding my chapter, that as we have understood that the spheres, the major domains of the earth are very much important for our sustenance, a balance should be maintained between all these spheres, like the lithosphere, the hydrosphere and the atmosphere. Then only the biosphere will be able to give us habitable condition for life. All these spheres play a very important part in our life. So understanding their value is very much important in not only in present scenario but in future also. It is the peak time that we should initiate some steps towards the conservation of environment. What we can do for conserving the environment? You most probably have heard of 3 R's, right? What are these 3 R's? These are reuse, recycle and reuse, recycle and reproduce. So we can reuse the things that which we have already used. Like coming over to the water, how can we reuse it? Like if you are using some water for washing vegetables, the same water you can use it for washing maybe for washing the washroom, or else you can use the same water for washing other utensils also. Similarly, the water can also be utilized. The paper, the newspapers that we are using, it can also be reused. Instead of throwing it on the dustbin, keep it and reuse it, so that there should not be wastage of any resource, because it takes millions of trees to produce one bundle of newspaper. So we have to be very much careful about the use of our resources. Like coming over to the water again, I want to add some more point, like that nowadays we are getting electricity, right? Whenever we want to, we can switch off the fan, switch on the AC. But before, there was a time when electricity was not known to people. They don't know how to use electricity. But nowadays, with the advancement of technology, electricity is just a household thing, right? But where is this electricity coming from? You know, a major part of electricity is coming from hydropower. What does this hydropower means? It means the electricity which is produced through water. So again, as you can see, water doesn't only serve us as the drinking purpose, it is also making electricity. So if we will waste water, it will be difficult for us only. Not only about water, everything, whatever the nature has given us, we should not treat it like free gifts of nature. Rather, we should treat them with much respect, because without these resources, our life will be impossible. So, today we are discussing these major domains of earth because directly and indirectly they are playing a major role in our life. This lockdown has proved that the nature has itself its replenishing capacity. It can replenish itself. Like you have heard of in the news channels that the quality of rivers has increased, the quality has improved. How this quality improved? It's because it has its own replenishing capacity. It can replenish themselves. But we have to give it time. It takes a lot of time and also our effort. Stop using plastic. Stop wasting resource. Be a responsible citizen of not only India but in the world also. Be a responsible person first. Try to respect all the resources that are available. Then only we will proudly be able to say that our earth is a unique planet and will always be, because it consists of life which no other planet supports in the whole solar system. But it's only our mother nature earth which is providing us those conditions which are good and which are most important for the existence of life. So with this I will be concluding my chapter. That was all, the major domains of earth. Today the whole world is going through a pandemic, that is the COVID-19 pandemic, which has affected most of the countries of the world. The severely affected countries are America, on which India is also a part and has ranked as the 5th country which is severely affected by COVID-19, right? So our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has suggested some 7 points, 7 mantras which we can use to fight this battle together, known as the Saptapadi. Let me give it a small conclusion. What are these 7 points that you can also follow along with everyone to fight this COVID-19 battle? The first one is, we have to take special care of the elderly people, especially those with chronic disease. We have to make extra care of them and keep them safe from coronavirus. It's because, as you already know, coronavirus is mostly affecting those who have a poor immunity power, and with aging the immunity power decreases. So the person aging more than 60 plus are very much vulnerable to this disease. So here our responsibility comes to take extra special care of those elderly people so that they can safely lead life. Coming over to the second mantra that our Prime Minister Modi has given is maintaining social distancing and lockdown, that is he called the Lakshman Rekha. Social distancing is the only measure that is to be taken for fighting this virus. As of now, no vaccine has yet been made. So the only measure that we can take is maintain social distancing. Don't go outside the home unless very much required. Try to stay inside home, maintain the lockdown and maintain social distancing. The third point is that boost your immunity power. Those who are having a good immunity power are less prone to COVID-19. So boosting your immunity is very much important in present scenario. There are many measures that you can take for boosting your immunity. Have hot water with lemon and many other immunity rich minerals and food items are there which will increase your immunity. Maintain your health and do exercise, which will be good for your healthy living. Now moving over to the fourth mantra is, the Prime Minister has also insisted to download the Arogya Setu app, which has been an app which will be able to detect that whether there is a positive patient is there nearby your area or not, so that you can maintain distance from that person. So install Arogya Setu app so that no more person will get affected by that virus. The fifth one is, be compassionate towards those who work with you. Don't sack or cut their wages. Like if you are connected with an organization, please maintain a good relation with them. Don't cut their wages, because our whole world is facing a situation. If this time we will help each other, then only we will be able to win this battle. And the sixth one is help the poor and the needy people. There are lot and lots of people. Every day we are hearing about the migrant workers who are trying to go back to their native places because there is unemployment, lack of food, and very bad situation. So in this emergency time, it is our responsibility that we help all those persons who are in need. And the last mantra that he has given is respect the corona warriors. In this time, it is the doctors, the health workers, the nurses, and even the police who are working 24/7 to give us protection so that we can lead a happy life. So instead of disrespecting them, it's time to show them respect, to cooperate, to maintain social distance, so that it will become easier for them to win the battle, to fight the battle. So that's all. In this COVID-19 crisis, it is important to come together and help each and everyone to fight through this disease. Thank you.